today's topic is IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Integrated Development Environment. Okay, Umar, this environment uh, in all high-level languages, say for example, we have C++, we have Python, we have Visual Basic, Java, etc., etc. Uh, all these languages supports IDE environment. And what is that? It provides you different types of features. It provides you different types of tools to write the programs. As you can notice over here, development, integrated development. While writing the program in Python or Visual Basic, this environment gives you a lot of tools. For example, this is a place in all high-level languages where we write the code. Code mean the program, of course. For example, we write the commands over here. Output, we say, for example, we write a output message, then we take the input from the user, etc., 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 right?
Yeah.
So this one thing that is called editor. It means all the languages, all high-level languages, they provide us editor. Editor mean we can add, we can amend, we can delete anything from our code. Is that clear? Umar, clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Moreover, it also provides you auto completion facility. Auto completion means, for example, if you start writing something like, uh, say, for example, if I write, let's presume I'm writing here. If I write declare, by the way, this is a pseudocode, declare count. If when I need to write the data type, so it automatically gives me so many options, right?
Yeah.
Integer, string, real, etc., etc., right? So auto completion, auto correction. Auto correction means this is, let me write it over here. Auto completion. You don't need to type it. Auto correction. You can find this feature in your mobile as well. For example, auto correction. If you make some mistakes, spelling mistakes, for example, if you write in LUCDE, this is just an example. So your uh, smartphone or the way the software you are using, it automatically make it correct into include, right?
Yes.
Okay. Auto completion, auto correction. Then we have pretty printing. Pretty printing, let me show you. I have, I took this for you. This is just one of the example of Visual Studio by Microsoft. I'll show you everything over here. Can you see that? Okay. I'll tell you everything one by one. We have this toolbar. Where is that? Come on. We have these tools, right? So this is called editor, text editor, where we write the code and you can see different types of colors, right? So it means it gives you some some kind of information about what does it mean by if you are using yellow, like green colors and blue colors. So green means these are the comments, and comments cannot be compiled by the compiler. It just ignores the green lines. These are the comments for the programmer, right? So you can see some pink thing over here. So, and you can see, let me make it more clear. I doubt that कि ये हो भी सकेगा नहीं. So this is the output window. When you run the program, if there are mistakes means if there are some errors, say for example, syntax errors, then that appears in this window, right? Output window. This is output window, right? All IDEs, no matter it's a C++, Python, Visual Basic, all these languages provides you these things. You can watch the variables value, you can watch the output window, you can watch the error types. If there are any mistakes, for example, syntax error, वो आपको बताएगा कि कहाँ पर आपने mistakes की हैं, you need to make it correct, right?
Yes.
So pretty printing means it makes sense, means कि programmer can easily understand कि the green one, it shows comments, and blue means like when you declare variables, when you declare some selection statements. Though we are not done with it, haven't started this portion of paper two. Selection statement means if, then, else, loops, and all that, right? Okay, let me make it more clear. Let me share my screen. Just a second, Amar. Here I go. Share. Okay, let me share this screen. Now, what do you see on your screen? That is Visual Basic, Visual Studio Microsoft, right? So you can easily understand over here, right? So you can collapse, you can expand. What does it mean? Means, say for example, I can collapse this code. Say for example, this is selection statements and these are the loops. I believe that you know something about loops.
Yeah.
Okay, Omar, you can expand the code, you can collapse the code, and you can see different colors, and you can see these lines, right? This is called indentation, right? For
Yeah.
example, if I need to make another loop, and you need to notice that it automatically indent itself, right? For C is equal to, C is not declared, by the way. So that is 1 to 10. If I press hit, then it automatically. Now you can see this next line. So it means the language knows that you are using the counter control loop and it automatically indent the loop. Indent mean ये जो gap आपको नजर आ रहा है, right? This is the outer
Yeah.
loop. ये नीचे line नजर आ रही है and this is the nested loop and we have another nested loop, right? So this is
Yeah.
called indentation. Umar, clear?
Yes.
So all IDE environment, it provides you auto completion, it provides you auto correction, pretty printing, and say for example, oh, can you see this? The red circle on the
Yeah.
left side. This is called breakpoint. Breakpoint means when you need to run the debugger. Debugger, first you need to understand what is a bug. In programming, when there are errors, we call it a bug. Bug mean errors. When you make it correct, it is called debug. So debugging is the process where you fix the errors in the program, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The red circle you see and the red line, this is called breakpoint. What does it mean? It means the user or programmer sets these points, the breakpoints, of course, so that the code stops here. Code stops running on that line. इससे फायदा क्या होगा? This lets you, of course, the programmer I'm talking about, to check the values and output from the code. Sometimes programmer जो हैं, they need to make sure the values of the variables. So they set the points, breakpoints, and they see the value and they see how their program actually works. Umar, clear?
Yes.
Okay. There is, now let me run this program if I can run this. Okay. So there is another facility. Let me remove that one. Come on. Control Z. Okay. So there is another feature of IDE environment, like you can check the code of the programmer line by line. Line by line means how the compiler reads the programs. For example, now I am running this program line by line. We call it step in. If you can see, if I can show you the command over here. Yes, step into. Now the compiler is on the very first line, sub main. You cannot see these reserved words in other languages like Python or whatever. So again, I'm pressing F11. Umar, can you see on the left side this one?
Yes.
These are the variables, and you can see the values of the variables. For example, on the next line, this is called arrays. We haven't done yet. So these are the arrays. It is telling me, of course, the programmer, कि यार we have these 2D array, we have rows and columns over here, और ये उसका सारा structure बता रहा है, right? So I can see everything, the values of the variables in the ID environment, and I can find out where exactly is the error, how my program is behaving, right? Okay, Umar,
Yeah.
clear?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you know the debugger. Now you know what is a breakpoint. Now you know what is a step info. Now where is the output window? You can see just below this program. This is output window. Oh man, where you can see the output. Let me run this program. For example, can you see this black screen?
Which?
I'm sorry. I didn't share this one. Let me share my screen, entire screen actually. Share screen. Yes, that's fine. Well, now you can see my screen, right? Okay. Now let's run this program. So this is a program of seats booking in a theater. For example, three, I need to book three seats. And you can see this is the output window. So the three seats are reserved, etc., row number and seat number. So this is the output. And what else we can have over here? We can see, okay, you can collapse, expand the code. You know it, pretty printing, you know it. Oh, now let me show you. Auto dim. You see this? Dim, for example, let me say count as, now this is auto completion. I don't need to type it. I can even select it, right? I can
Yeah.
select any type of my data string, then auto correction, auto completion. So these green things, these are the commits which is definitely ignored by the compiler. And just a second, let me now share the, sorry, this one. So this is called indentation. Now you know pretty printing. Umar, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, we have different languages, Q basic, GW basic. We have the same family, Visual Basic, but Q basic and GW basic, these are the, the older time languages. It doesn't provide you IDE environment, these features, right? Error
Yeah.
diagnostic features, ये जो अभी आपने देखे हैं, debugger and the values, how to check the values, right? So let me show you some other things. For example, uh, how it how you see the syntax error. This is the code written in the Python, right? There is a mistake in spellings, and you see it says program counters from 9 to 0. There is some mistake in the spellings.
So
Invalid.
I think your screen is stuck.
Just a second, just a second. Now, can you see the one note? Omar, can you see?
Yes.
Can't hear you.
See.
Okay. So when there are some spelling mistakes, then we call it like syntax error when you violate the rules of the high level languages, which means when there is some spelling mistakes, if you forget to put some comma, inverted commas, so these are the syntax errors. Uh, we'll discuss about these errors later on. Okay, Umar. So different languages provide you different types of IDE features. Any question? Umar, any question?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you, Umar.
No, no question.
Okay. If I summarize this, then I can say IDE provides you different type of functions. Number one, debugging tools for finding logic errors. And you just knew that What are the debugging tools? We have breakpoints, we have stepping info, tracing through a program to output the values of the variable. This is how we figure it out where the error is. उमर ठीक है?
Yeah.
Then ID also provide you, in fact, also help us, the programmers, of course, preventing and identify syntax error. I just told you about syntax error, right?
Yeah.
So ID environment actually normally it gives you a red line. Red line means there are something wrong. Maybe you forget to put like the bracket, the comma, inverted commas, etc., etc., right? The compiler produces an output of the error message to help you to identify it, right?
Yeah.
So these are the two functions. Number three, ID also provide you a runtime environment. Runtime means when you compile the program, you can see the output window. You can see the output of the program that you have written in the editor. Umar, clear?
Can you say that again?
It provides you a runtime environment. Runtime environment means that gives you an output window where you can see, where you can interact with the program, right?
Yes.
So it gives you more functions, more features. For example, you can find and replace some things like the if you don't want to write something, then you can copy it. You can find and replace functions, replace the things. You can format the source code. You can navigate. You can comment, indentation. There are so many things, right? Omar, clear?
Yes.
I guess that is all for about IDE. We cover everything in IDE environment. And Omar, any question?
I what I just use VS Code, but can you tell me specifically what's the difference in an IDE and just any code editor?
Omar, all languages, I just told you about all the languages, no matter you are using Python, C++, Visual Basic, all these languages provide you these facilities, these features, right? Auto completion, auto correction, pretty printing, like you can identify the what are the commits, what are the variables, indentation, what are why we do indentation to find out the code. So these are the features. What exactly your question was, Umar?
What makes an IDE different from any code editor?
Well, editor is a common thing where we write the program, right? IDE is a complete environment. IDE also provide you editor. Every language, every high level language that provides you an editor where we write the code, right?
Yeah.
Any other question?
Thank you.
Okay, so we are done with the chapter number 4.